This is Idaho News 6. Good morning, Idaho.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Good Morning Idaho. I'm Frankie Catafias. Idaho's fight against COVID marks a grim new milestone as the state marked its deadliest day yet with 18 new deaths on Thursday. According to data tracking by our news partners over at the Idaho Statesman, Idaho also recorded 864 new confirmed cases and 185 probable cases, adding up to just over 1,000 cases. It's second only to another record set less than a week ago. The state's positivity rate continues its 6-week upward trend to 14%, and health experts are saying that the goal is to have a rate below 5%. Now, these rise in cases come just 4 days ahead of Election Day, and while many people have requested absentee ballots, others are voting in person. In Canyon County at O'Connor Fieldhouse, 5 poll workers have tested positive for COVID-19. Our election reporter Nicole Camarda is explaining what that might mean for Tuesday.
Canyon County does not have a mask mandate, meaning masks are not required of poll workers or voters inside the polling locations. 5 poll workers who contracted COVID have been sent home and are no longer working at the polls.
We have throughout this whole deal informed all poll workers that if they're feeling sick in the slightest to not come in. We have backups if necessary that we can call in.
Canyon County Public Information Officer Joe Decker says the list of backup poll workers is long enough to where these spots will be filled.
At this point, we're still planning on and hope to open all 21 next Tuesday. We'll see how tomorrow goes and through the weekend, but at this point, we have every intention to open all 21 polling locations.
Decker says the county would rather operate short-staffed than have workers who aren't feeling well.
We've been doing extra sanitizing, extra cleaning. We have hand sanitizer, masks available. I know the machines are cleaned and wiped down between every voter. But we're encouraging people, when you show up at the polling location, try to keep that social distancing, keep your separation from the other voters.
Canyon County is encouraging voters to follow social distancing and wear a mask when going to cast their votes. Nicole Camarda, Idaho News 6.
Poll workers who are handling curbside voting, which is offered by all Canyon County polling locations, will be expected to wear a mask when they bring the ballot on sanitized equipment out to your car. And with only 4 days to go, now is the time to make sure that you get those absentee ballots returned. If you don't get them back to your local clerk by 8 p.m. on Election Day, they won't be counted. Time is short to mail them, so if you want to make sure that they get there in time, you can drop your completed absentee ballot in secure drop boxes at the Canyon and Ada County elections offices. You can also go to the drop boxes in Boise, Eagle, Meridian, and Kuna city halls. If you plan to vote in person, today is the final day for early voting. Otherwise, you'll need to vote at the polls on Election Day, where you can also register to vote at the same time. Now turning over to my favorite part of the morning, I get to see Rachel Garceau not only, in the morning, but in person.
In person for the first time in a little while. So happy to have you filling in for Matt today.
Oh, it's so exciting. It's a girls' day, Friday.
It is Ladies' Friday. That's exactly right. And nothing but good news in the forecast today. So it's a win-win all around. So current conditions in Boise, we're a little bit on the cool side. Above average, though, for our second to last day of October, 41 degrees and no wind to speak of. So wind chill, not an issue. Now, as we look at our temperature trend, our high temperatures from the past week, it's been a bit of a roller coaster ride. We had those mid 50s late last week, 40s Saturday, Sunday and Monday. And then, of course, we've seen this steady climb until we hit almost 70 degrees yesterday. As we look at today's forecast, get ready to do that all over again. A beautiful Friday coming our way. Perfect day to get those leaves raked, but I would make sure those piles are tucked away or in the leaf bags by this evening, as we do have some wind that will start picking up around dinner time. Still, though, we'll hit 68 degrees, a gorgeous fall day. For Halloween tomorrow, that wind tonight is an indicator of the cold front that will come through overnight tonight. That will drop our temperatures tomorrow closer to average. Still pretty comfortable. Still lots of sunshine here on my Saturday forecast. Still up to 59, just not nearly as warm as we've been. I'll talk about what this means for the rest of your weekend forecast coming up in a little bit.
Now, the Idaho News 6 traffic report, brought to you by Larry Miller.
Well, the time right now is 6:04. We're taking a look at that downtown connector camera, looking pretty empty on this Friday morning, but are we surprised? Probably not at 6:04. Many people may be working from home, sleeping in, or just not up yet. Good news all around, though. That commute time still underneath that 30-minute mark if you are heading eastbound from the Caldwell-Nampa area into downtown Boise. We don't expect any changes in our commute until about that 7 o'clock hour. Now, this morning, hospitalizations are on the rise coast to coast, and at least 13 states, including Idaho, are seeing a record number of patients. Dr. Anthony Fauci is calling for a national mask mandate as the U.S. sets yet another single-day record for the number of COVID cases, hitting the 9 million mark. In Wisconsin, hospitals are now 2 to 6 weeks away from running out of ICU beds, while the Utah governor has warned that hospitals there are getting too full to function. Donald Trump Jr. dismissed concerns about the rise in cases, echoing that his father, saying that the country is turning the corner on the pandemic. And here at home, Ketchum and surrounding areas in Sun Valley have doubled down on a mask mandate and other protective measures in an effort to slow the spread of the coronavirus. Blaine County is also facing other challenges as they gear up for the winter tourism season. Ketchum Mayor Neil Bradshaw says that the goal will be creating an environment where visitors feel welcome and businesses can stay open and residents feel safe. On top of that, the mayor also worries about mental health during the pandemic.
We have, the perfect antidote to a virus, and that's sunshine and open space. And we have that in abundance. Having said that, I am concerned about the mental health of our community and communities throughout Idaho. This is an incredibly challenging situation.
At this time, the mayor doesn't know what the winter season will look like in Ketchum, but he says the next month will be critical and it's a time for everybody to work together. Southwest District Health releases its latest alert levels, and Adams County is seeing an increase in cluster cases and will now be moved to the yellow category. Most of the cases are stemming from a cluster outbreak within a local school. Meanwhile, other counties will remain at their current alert levels. Canyon County will remain in the orange category with 8 living facilities still seeing cluster outbreaks. Owyhee County is still in the yellow category, while Payette County is to remain in the red health alert category. That category also seeing a rise in cluster outbreaks with transmissions within schools. And as a reminder, daylight savings time ends this weekend. Make sure that you turn those clocks back 1 hour on Sunday morning. We're going to get that extra hour of sleep I'm sure that we all need. Sunrise and sunset will be an hour earlier with more light in the morning. So if you haven't done so, make sure that you do so. And also maybe change those batteries in your smoke detectors. And an update this morning out of eastern Idaho, the jury trials for Chad and Lori Dabal will be combined. District Judge Stephen Boise made the ruling on Thursday, saying that under Idaho law, 2 people can be tried together when the defendants are accused of participating in the same act. According to our news partners at East Idaho News, Special Prosecutor Rob Wood initially asked for the cases to be combined for efficiency, as he planned to use the same evidence and witnesses to prosecute both Chad and Lori Dabal. Both Dabals have pleaded not guilty to the 2 felony counts of conspiracy to commit destruction, alteration, or concealment of evidence in connection to the deaths of Lori's 2 children, J.J. Vallow and Tylee Ryan. The children's bodies were found back in June on Chad Dabal's property. If you'd like to learn more about our reporting on this case, you could head to our website, Idaho News 6. The time now is 6:08, and still to come on Good Morning Idaho, top health experts are calling for a nationwide mask mandate. We'll have more details straight ahead.
You're watching Idaho News 6. Good Morning Idaho.
Well, good morning and welcome back. Happening today, the Downtown Boise Association is kicking off its annual Restaurant Week. 37 downtown spots are taking part this year to mark a decade of Restaurant Week celebrations. Each restaurant will be offering a special prefix menu for this event, giving regulars and first-timers something to remember and keep them coming back.
A lot of the menus lean into Idaho-specific products or things that they're debuting just for this event.
Restaurant Week will run today through Sunday, November 8th. And you also have the chance to win a $25 gift card just by posting a picture of your plate on social media with the hashtag #DineDowntownBoise. All the details can be found on downtownboise.org. And Dr. Anthony Fauci is calling for a national mask mandate as the U.S. sets yet another single-day record for the number of COVID cases. Meanwhile, one of the college football's top stars, Clemson quarterback Trevor Lawrence, is now sidelined after testing positive. But overnight, President Trump's son, Don Jr., is speaking out about the lower death rates about patients while defending his father's claim that we've turned the corner on the virus. ABC's Mona Kozar Abdi has the details.
a stern warning about the spike in COVID cases.
We are facing an urgent crisis, and there is an imminent risk to you.
Hospitalizations on the rise coast to coast, at least 13 states seeing a record number of patients. And now, a new battle brewing in one of the hardest hit areas. A judge in El Paso ordering a 2-week shutdown of non-essential businesses in the county, taking effect overnight. But the Texas Attorney General says he may challenge the shutdown, claiming it violates the governor's executive order. In Wisconsin, hospitals now 2 to 6 weeks away from running out of ICU beds. 20% of hospitals say they're facing critical staffing shortages. In Utah, the governor warns hospitals there are getting too full to function.
The hospitals, frankly, just can't keep up with the trend that we have going now.
But overnight, the president's son dismissing concerns in the media about the rise in cases.
These people are truly morons.
Donald Trump Jr. echoing his father, saying the country is turning the corner on the pandemic.
Why aren't they talking about this? Oh, because the number is almost nothing. We're outperforming Europe in a positive way so well because we've gotten a hold of this.
Mona Kosar-Abdi, ABC News, New York.
Well, United Airlines is offering free coronavirus tests to passengers ahead of their flights. The airline is hoping that this move will help get more people traveling again, and it's calling the plan a pilot program for now, saying it can essentially guarantee that everyone on board is COVID-19 negative. The 4-week trial run will start November 16th, and passengers will have to arrive 3 hours before their flight to get a rapid test result in time. People flying into the UK will still have to face a mandatory 14-day quarantine. And across the nation, CVS is expanding its COVID-19 testing services. The pharmacy chain wants to add rapid result testing at nearly 1,000 locations by the end of the year. And nearly 100 of these rapid result test sites will be operational this week. The tests are available at no cost to patients who meet CDC criteria, but you must register in advance at cvs.com to schedule an appointment. And several countries have started shifting to a shorter quarantine recommendation. Places like France are now telling COVID patients to quarantine for 7 days opposed to 14. Other countries like Spain, Belgium, and Germany are having people quarantine for 10 days, and the idea is that a shorter quarantine is better than no quarantine at all. Some people may find it difficult to self-isolate, and because of the long period, they may not attempt to do it.
A job that requires you to be there, then you're going to miss 2 weeks worth of work. Now, even if you have a job with really good benefits where, you can take sick leave and they can accommodate that, even in that situation, that's going to be difficult for most people.
The Association of State and Territorial Health officials say the vast majority of people are showing symptoms within 4 to 6 days. They do say, though, that the downside to shorter quarantine is that there is a possibility that they will miss some people who start to show symptoms later on. The CDC may be able to issue new guidance on self-isolation periods to get states on the same page. The time right now is 6:15, and we're celebrating Halloween a day early along with all things autumn with all of our viewers. Check out some of the photos that you have been sending right here to us. Make sure, though, you keep those coming. We love seeing it. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this break.
Here's meteorologist Rachel Garceau with your Idaho News 6 forecast.
It is 6:17 on our Friday morning, Halloween Eve, if you will. And of course, it wouldn't be Halloween if we didn't unearth the dancing mummy at least once this season. Here's your Halloween forecast. You can see we keep the sunshine nice and clear. He is super excited about that, or she, I don't know. But temperature-wise, things do cool down tomorrow, a little closer to average. So 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 57 degrees. We'll hit about 59 for that high, and then dropping down into the low 50s and upper 40s pretty quickly after sundown. As we look at our Halloween weather history for Boise, even 59 degrees tomorrow, while almost 10 degrees cooler than today, is still above our average daytime high for October 31st of 56 degrees. The coldest temperature we've had on Halloween 34 degrees back in 2002, coldest high temperature, warmest 74 8 years ago. How nice does that sound? We're not far from that today, and it's not unheard of to get some snow at the end of October. The most snow that's ever fallen in Boise on Halloween itself, 1 inch back in 1971. So while no snow tomorrow, we will have that rare blue moon. Don't forget, if you're out and about late tonight, tomorrow night or very early Sunday morning, train your eye on the sky for nature's flashlight. A blue moon, remember, is that second full moon inside a calendar month. This is the first time a blue moon has fallen on the Halloween holiday in about 76 years, since 1944. And the next time that will happen, those two things coincide, is not until 2039. So we have a little while until we get to enjoy that spectacle again. Skies, though, should be nice and clear to take a look at nature's flashlight tomorrow night. We have tons of sunshine in store for us today. We do see a band of clouds, though, moving across the Pacific Northwest, some rain as well. That is the leading edge of a cold front. We're in the warm sector ahead of that front for this afternoon, but as the cold front makes its way across the Northwest, it'll lose a lot of that precipitation, a lot of the moisture. Only a very slim chance here in McCall. This is McCall's extended forecast that we could see a quick moving shower tonight, and then sunshine dominates for the long term, but you can see those temperatures dip a little bit tomorrow, down to 53 in McCall, but then for the early November, right back up to the 60s. Then our next shot of colder, wetter air comes in late next week. But for the next week, we have just amazing weather coming our way. Just a little cool down tomorrow, but I do think our Saturday will still be pretty pleasant. For our Friday, 63 out towards Vail and Weiser, 62 in Ontario, 68 in Boise, 70 likely in Mountain Home, 65 for Idaho City and Garden Valley. Still a little bit of an inversion in place with that warmer air aloft, but we're seeing it erode just a little bit. Mid to upper 50s for McCall, Donnelly, and Cascade. Stanley, Sun Valley up around 60 degrees today, and in the Magic Valley, some wind this evening. You'll notice that front coming in. I think it will stir up the winds a little bit, but still Magic Valley, you'll be up near 70 out towards Twin Falls. So 59 tomorrow. There's that 10-degree drop, but right back to it as we set our clocks back early Sunday morning. We hit the mid 60s for early November. That's where we stay through next Thursday. It is 6:20 now, and after the break today, families are getting creative this Halloween. We'll show you exactly how coming up in today's trending news.
Good morning, Idaho, and welcome back. We're taking that live look down at the Jump Center in downtown Boise, courtesy of our photojournalist Norman Kaler with his hashtag NormanCam. Now trending, if you're planning to be a werewolf for Halloween, your costume will come with a full moon.
It's perfect. We just talked about this. Yeah, Saturday will be the first Halloween full moon the entire country has seen since 1944. Typically, a full moon will land on Halloween every 19 years. As an added spook factor, since full moons are separated by 29 days, everyone on Halloween is a blue moon. So that means 2 full moons in the same month. And we did see that first one back on October 1st. Fun fact, that was the harvest moon, or October 1st full moon. And this is called the hunter's moon, the one that's coming our way tomorrow.
I love the names of the moons.
That'd be fun.
Isn't there a pink moon or a super
pink moon? There's a strawberry moon. There's all kinds of fun
stuff.
stuff.
I love the names of the moon. Well, some cities have banned trick-or-treating altogether, urging families just to stay home. But families in Houston are still trying to celebrate the Halloween tradition in a safe way. Most families are pre-bagging candy and laying it out on decorated tables, creating candy clotheslines or even a candy chute.
My plan is to use this to not only deliver candy to the kids, but syringes filled with Jell-O shots for the adults.
I love it. Is she in our neighborhood?
Yeah,
No?
right?
Okay.
Do we have anybody in our neighborhoods that is doing this? Well, families say celebrating the holiday this year isn't so much about the candy and the costumes, but it's just more about that lighthearted fun.
That is genius. I've heard of the tables or just being out in the driveway, but the candy chute. People are so smart.
You know, I was even thinking like those little Easter eggs, like your little Halloween Easter eggs. Just put the candy in a little Easter egg and just set them out all over
the
yard.
That's a cute idea. Not too late for that. I love it. All right, and just in time for Halloween, we are learning an interesting fact about these creepy crawlers. If you don't like spiders, look away from your screen. This one is the ogre-faced spider. You should see Frankie's face right now. Scientists have learned they can hear even though they don't have ears. It turns out these spiders are able to listen to sounds through receptors on their legs, including leg hairs. They can detect sounds from at least 6.5 feet away and are sensitive to frequencies up to 10 kilohertz. The research showed the spiders use auditory cues. Why is this in slow motion? Auditory cues to detect and capture flying prey. These spiders don't wait for insects to get stuck into webs. They go hunt them instead. I'm glad I could read that instead of having to look at the video.
Oh my gosh, I was traumatized. It was all those like you said, goosebumps all over my arm.
I don't mind a spider until it's in your face in slow motion, right?
Yeah, and then like just the close-ups. Those were probably the clearest photos I've ever seen of a spider.
And now they can hear us too.
Yeah.
All right, time now for GMI Wants to Know. It's National Candy Corn Day, so we're asking today about your favorite and or least favorite Halloween candies. And as per usual, you guys are sending in some great answers on Facebook.
Absolutely. We have Emerald saying, I love Reese's or chocolate with something in the middle, but I'm not a fan of any hard candies like the chewy ones like Swedish Fish or straight chocolate like just a Hershey's bar. We also have Gail saying Snickers are our favorite, Dum Dum Suckers are the worst. And I would agree because there's nothing to them.
The only Dum Dum I like is the root beer one. That's it.
Yeah.
The rest could go. And then let's see, David says Butterfingers, Reese's Pieces are okay. Anything Reese's, he says. Just anything. I'm with you.
Yeah.
100%.
Love that. Well, thank you for sending those in. Make sure you keep sending them in so we can share them throughout the morning. Coming up in our second half hour, the Sound of Idaho continues marching on, and we'll be telling you how the University of Idaho Vandal Band is keeping that music going next. And who or what is behind the scenes of the Boise Little Theater? Well, we'll make sure to explore in the latest of our Idaho Haunts series.
This is Idaho News 6. Good morning, Idaho.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Good Morning Idaho. I am Frankie Catafias. Jump is inviting the community to a unique celebration of death through life. Dia de Muertos, or Day of the Dead, is an important tradition in Mexico, and this morning, our photojournalist Norman Kaler is showing us how Jump is preparing to honor the holiday.
We are celebrating Dia de Muertos, which is a celebration of life and love and a time to honor and remember our loved ones who have passed. We're teaming up with the Mexican consulate this weekend to have some fun activities. You know, I think it's important to learn about the traditions and cultures from other countries. At Jump, as we are a creative center and a community gathering place, we like to introduce people to new ideas. It's different than Halloween in that it's about death, but it's a celebration of death and reuniting the deceased with the living. It's a time to bring them together, to honor, to remember, to share stories that are an incredible and powerful way to connect those of us that are living with our loved ones that have passed. That we might think of them every single day, but it's one day to really celebrate their lives and the legacy that they left behind.
Well, on Sunday and Monday, you can view altars in the lobby windows at Jump in downtown Boise. You can also check out virtual Dia de Muertos performances on the Jumbotron. Jump is also inviting everyone to light a candle and write a memory or a message to the loved ones from 2 to 7 on Sunday and Monday. And Halloween is just a day away, and our very own Matt Sizemore and photojournalist Doug Locksmith were able to check out one of the spookiest places in Idaho. The pair took a trip to the old Idaho Penitentiary to embark on a paranormal investigation guided by Big River Paranormal. The group has been ghost hunting for several years in the Treasure Valley and in surrounding areas. Our crews toured the space for a few hours, feeling a few creepy chills, but was it a ghost?
We do have ghosts. They're very elusive as far as being captured on video or camera, but the experiences are something that I can't deny. People come to me and I know in their eyes, listening to their voice, that something happened to them.
Coming up tomorrow, we'll be showing you more of Matt and Doug's trip to the old pen. You can catch that story on the news at 10. And with many people celebrating Halloween this weekend, health experts are urging everyone to do their part to battle against COVID-19. Officials have issued warnings stating trick-or-treating is just not safe this year and kids should be kept home. But the CDC is also classifying that trick-or-treating is a high-risk activity. But if you do decide to hit the neighborhood in search of candy, do your best to make it as safe as possible.
When the children knock on the door, it becomes a really tight, confined space with a number of people there yelling trick or treat. And that just creates that close environment that we're really trying to avoid right now.
The tradition can be made safer by wearing a mask, washing hands before touching treats, avoiding direct contact with other trick-or-treaters, giving treats outdoors, or even setting up a station with individually bagged treats for kids to take. The CDC says a costume mask is not a substitute for a cloth mask, and you shouldn't wear both at the same time as it could cause some difficulty breathing. The Boise Little Theater has been around for over 70 years, and it's Idaho's longest running all-volunteer community theater. While shows are happening, there may be a little bit more help around the backstage area. Idaho News 6 teamed up with a group of paranormal investigators to look into some of the spooky claims Boise Little Theater volunteers have made in the past. And some of these claims included the feeling of being watched, lights flickering on and off on their own, and faces appearing in windows. But these are known to be friendly spirits. The stage manager for Boise Little Theater says none of the encounters with the lingering spirits have been harmful or even scary.
And the people are here, you know, they feel the love, they feel they're part of something still. And I think that's why one of the things that we don't ever have any negative experiences with them is because they're here and they're with us and they are wanting to be part of our productions.
Coming up on Good Morning Idaho, our reporter Nicole Camarda and chief photographer Doug Locksmith will take a look at some of these spooky claims. And speaking of spookiness, do we have any spooky weather in the forecast, Rachel?
Nothing too scary, Frankie, though there is a bit of a cool down coming in tomorrow for Halloween, which we'll talk about here in a moment. Nothing too frightful this morning either. It is on the cool side, 29 in Ontario, 33 in Twin Falls. So you can see you hit the lower elevations of Ontario and it's starting to get really chilly. 41 in Boise though and Mountain Home, 26 in McCall and in the teens in Stanley. So you will want the coat or the jacket as you head out early this morning. But look how quickly our temperatures start to take off. In fact, by 1 o'clock this afternoon, we'll be at 61 degrees already above our average daytime high. Headed for 69 today. That's exactly where we were yesterday. So what I like to call a copy and paste or rinse and repeat kind of day. You will likely notice though that wind picking up this evening. So if you have some leaves to get raked, you may want to bag them pretty quickly as Mother Nature might try to mess it all up for you, as we do have a cool front coming in, and this is what it will do for our Halloween tomorrow. It'll knock those temperatures down by a good 10 degrees, but lots of sunshine still, and the wind is brief. I think we'll have a really pleasant Saturday, and then we get right back to those warm conditions for early November, and I'll talk about that more in just a few minutes.
Now, the Idaho News 6 traffic report, brought to you by Larry Miller.
6:36, that's our time. Here's a look at that downtown connector camera, looking just a little bit busier than it did about an hour ago. We're taking a close eye though at that commute, and we're not seeing anything to be concerned with just yet. A quick peek over at our commute from downtown or from Caldwell Nampa area into downtown Boise looks clear. If you're to take the Waze route, it'll only take you 24 minutes to get to where you need to go, but if you use anything else, it could take you up to 32 minutes. Now, when it wasn't safe to continue practices and performances, the Vandal Marching Band came up with a new game plan during the pandemic. Instead of canceling band this year, they ditched the woodwind and brass instruments, which are considered unsafe because of the aerosols and socially distanced around the dome. The University of Idaho's band still plays Go Vandals Go, but instead uses individual plastic containers of PPE storage as instruments.
It's one of the few opportunities we have this semester to get together and make live music. So it's incredible. We still have the same, energy that the Vandal Marching Band always has, and it's just so fun to get to learn to do all these new things, and we get to create live music on the fly all the time.
The marching band is working on their second live performance right now, and one that she says has a lot more moves. To view their first one and its entirety, you can visit this story on our website, idahonews6.com. And COVID-19 delayed the season, but thankfully for fans and the university budget, Boise State football is back. After a decisive win over Utah State at home last weekend, the Broncos are hitting the road to play Air Force tomorrow. The Broncos are a 14-point favorite, but they're not looking past just anyone, especially not a Falcon team with a potent run game. They've given the Broncos a fit in recent years, and Air Force is coming off a loss to San Jose State, while the Broncos leverage their 42-13 win over the Aggies to break back into the top 25. While sitting at 25th in the AP poll, they have yet to break, though, that coaches poll. Tomorrow's game is on CBS Sports Network, and kickoff is at 4 p.m. Time right now is 6:38, and we're celebrating Halloween a day early, along with all things autumn with all of our viewers. Make sure you check out some of these photos. There is that look at that hot dog finger. Man, something has never looked so gross and so good at the same time. Thanks for the photos, and don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this break.
You're watching Idaho News 6. Good morning, Idaho.
Well, good morning and welcome back. For many veterans, the trauma of war follows them back home. But now one Idaho veteran is working to help others returning from their service at Hiatus Ranch. Joshua Burnside, a combat veteran of 2 tours in Iraq, is the owner of Hiatus Ranch, where the overall purpose is to allow veterans to reset and gain their bearings. Mental health services, financial advisors, and other recreational opportunities will be available. But for now, they're focusing on giving veterans the ability to work with all sorts of animals like cows, goats, chickens, alpacas, and horses.
We'll offer an equestrian program, and they can do as a beginner level all the way up to as advanced as they want to do. And we'll also have a team of horses, so those that can't ride physically or mentally, then they get the opportunity to still be a part.
There is still plenty of work to be done, like fundraising, cleaning the site, and the construction of housing for the veterans. The ranch hopes to be operating by the fall of next year if they can raise the money. You can find out how to help and give back at Hiatus Ranch at hiatusranch.org. And there are 4 days to go until election, and already more than 81 million Americans have cast their ballots. Today, President Trump and his Democratic rival Joe Biden are both targeting the Midwest. Biden is keeping focus on the pandemic, holding socially distanced drive-in rallies, and attacking the president's handling of the virus. Meanwhile, the president is pointing to the economy after a new report showed GDP increased by a record 33.1% in the third quarter.
Talk about your economic success. Talk about 33.1%, the greatest in history. Now, look, if I do, how many times can I say it?
Already, more than 81 million Americans have voted, according to the U.S. Elections Project. That's nearly double the early vote count from 2016 and almost 60% of the total vote 4 years ago. Mr. Trump and Biden are both hitting the trail in Minnesota and Wisconsin today. The president will also visit Michigan, and Biden will be visiting Iowa. This morning, 3 civil rights groups are legally challenging an executive order from President Trump on diversity training. The order says that federal agencies, contractors, and grant recipients can't offer certain diversity training courses. The Trump administration says it could make white workers feel discomfort or guilt. The lawsuit says that the order violates free speech and holds back workplace attempts to address systematic racism and sex discrimination. The time right now is 6:43, and we're taking a live look at Jump in downtown Boise, courtesy of our photojournalist Norman Kaler with his hashtag NormanCam. Still ahead on Good Morning Idaho, we'll have behind the scenes of the Boise Little Theater.
All right, on the weather front, nothing too spooky for our Halloween forecast tomorrow, though it is the coolest day of the extended period. I'll get to the details of the cool down and what's coming up beyond that in my full forecast next.
Here's meteorologist Rachel Garceau with your Idaho News 6 forecast.
It is 6:46 on our Friday. Let's jump ahead to tomorrow, though, and move location as Boise State heads to Colorado Springs to take on Air Force tomorrow. Kickoff is at 4 o'clock. Look at the beautiful day in Colorado. 61 degrees when Boise State takes the field with the Falcons. Tons of sunshine as well. This looks almost identical to our forecast for tomorrow, though we'll actually be just a touch cooler than that here in Boise. So sunny and warm warm again today, almost an identical setup today compared to our amazing Thursday. We do have a cool front that will come in late tonight. That will usher in cooler conditions briefly tomorrow. Over the weekend, though, make sure you keep an eye out for that rare Halloween blue moon on full display tomorrow night. And of course, we also usher in the end of daylight saving time, which means unfortunately we'll be eating dinner in the dark by this point next week, but we will enjoy more sunlight, or at least earlier sunlight in the morning. So that is the trade-off. We are nice and clear this morning. We'll enjoy a beautiful sunrise once again. We do have some clouds and some moisture on the move from the northwest. That is a cold front that is going to push through the Seattle area first and then continue its southeast trek towards our neck of the woods. We'll have that warm sector out first. That's what will send our temperatures up near 70 degrees today. And we lose a lot of that moisture as this front moves across the Cascades. It really kind of peters out. The biggest impacts will be the cooler temperatures tomorrow, yes, and then some wind this evening. I think around dinner time, 6 to 7 o'clock, we'll have a little bit of wind gusting, especially from Boise towards Mountain Home and Twin Falls. So if you are raking some leaves, maybe just have them bagged up before about 5 or 6 o'clock tonight in case Mother Nature tries to mess up those nice piles for you. We will have a shower popping up in our far north central mountain zones. McCall, you may have a sprinkle, and then that's about it. This is our Saturday. Lots of sunshine, 10-degree cooler temperatures. So your Halloween forecast does show a high of 59, but still with sun and relatively light winds, I think we're still in for a very pleasant Saturday. Temperatures drop off pretty quickly, though. From 6 to 9 o'clock, we go from 59 down to 45 by 9 tomorrow. So if you are headed out in the evening hours tomorrow, you, of course, will want that jacket. We know the drill by now, right? Temperature-wise today, it is going to be absolutely amazing. A little cooler for the west end of the valley, 62 to 63 for Ontario, Vail, Weiser, Emmett, those areas, but up near 70 in Boise and Mountain Home. Kuna getting up to 68 degrees today. Up in the mountains, still in the 60s for the Pine-Featherville area, Idaho City, Garden Valley, low to mid 60s over in Council, a high of 60. Then we'll see mid to upper 50s for McCall, Donnelly, and Cascade today with mostly sunny skies and a quick shot of clouds coming in later this afternoon, and then possibly that rain shower this evening around McCall. Highs around 60 for Stanley and Sun Valley, a little breezy in Fairfield and down into the Magic Valley tonight. Still, though, in Twin Falls, temperatures approaching 70 degrees this afternoon. Just beautiful. 59 tomorrow, and then as we head into early November, we rebound very quickly. Gorgeous weather with mid-60s on tap from Sunday all the way through Thursday.
Thanks, Rachel. Well, the Boise Little Theater has been around for more than 7 decades, serving as Idaho's longest-running all-volunteer community theater. Shows are still taking place, but they may have more than just human hands helping them put on the shows. Idaho News 6 reporter Nicole Camarda and chief photographer Doug Locksmith teamed up with Western Idaho Paranormal to investigate who might also hang around the theater after hours.
Boise Little Theater has been closed down since the beginning of the pandemic, but a few special guests have stuck around and made themselves known.
There's a lot of skeptics out there who don't believe it. From my personal experience, I know they're here. I know they are present. The ghosts that we have encountered here in the theater are really super nice, really super friendly, and they seem to be pleasantly happy here.
Is Justice or George here?
Sometimes he won't let the lights turn on. I was standing here one night, just like this, watching the show. I could see both doors, see both light switches, and the lights came on, came off, came on, came off, came on, came off. And I'm like, and I told him to stop it, and it stopped.
It was kind of peeked out. It definitely felt like you're being watched. A few times I saw shadows in doorways and heard some strange sounds tonight that we're hoping we caught on our recorders.
It's really dark in here. Do you think you could turn some lights on for us?
Other side of the lobby is actually the poster of the show that was on stage when the original theater burnt.
Does the play The Fifth Season have any significance for you?
During the fire, of course, people panic and get out, and then the 2 people who perished in the fire, the one came back into the theater to save the furs, which were on loan from one of the fur shops downtown Boise. And the other guy who actually perished in the fire, his wife went out one side of the building, he went on the other side of the building, he couldn't find her, so he went back into the theater to find her. And unfortunately, he perished in the fire. We can feel them here. Their presence is known. So what happens is when you walk through the breezeway right here, this window right here, because normally the lights are shut off into the costume room, and his face has appeared out this window looking at you. And I've experienced him looking at me a couple times.
In the costume room, it's a very tight space. A lot of clothes, a lot of aisles of clothes. Started getting some activity. I heard what sounded like a loud vocal yawn. and confirmed that wasn't any of our teammates. And then I believe you were holding a device that started lighting up unexpectedly because it hadn't done anything all night. And we had another device start going off like crazy. Okay, now stop touching it. Not really sure what that was all about. Or are you trying to make a song? I believe that there are some things here that we haven't been able to explain yet. And I know that people have had experiences here to suggest that there is a haunting here. All right, so let's spread out a little bit, I guess. And what was that?
What was that?
And I don't think they are out to harm anyone here at the theater. They're at the theater because they loved it, and this is a happy spot for them. They were part of our lives, and they're still part of our lives. I think when the theater burned down and they lost their lives, unfortunately, I think we moved over from there to here. They needed to be part of the theater still. And the people are here, they feel the love, they feel they're part of something still. And I think that's why one of the things that we don't ever have any negative experiences with them is because they're here and they're with us and they are wanting to be part of our productions.
Nicole Camarda, Idaho News 6.
Well, right now we're taking a look at some of those festive fall/Halloween photos right now. We love getting these types of pictures from you, so make sure you send them in if you can over to our Facebook page, and don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with some more news after this break.
You're watching Idaho News 6. Good morning, Idaho.
Good morning, Idaho. Welcome back. Time now is 6:56. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of your top stories this morning. Idaho's fight against COVID marks a grim new milestone. The state marked its deadliest day yet with 18 new deaths Thursday. And according to data tracking by our news partners at Idaho Statesman, Idaho also recorded 864 new confirmed cases and 185 probable cases, adding up to just over 1,000 cases. The state's positivity rate continues its 6-week upward trend to 14%, and health experts are saying that the goal is to have a rate below 5%. And now is the time to make sure that you got your absentee ballot returned. If you don't get those returned to your local clerk by 8 p.m. on Election Day, they won't be counted. If you want that to make sure that they get there in time, make sure that you drop them completed at an absentee balloted secured drop box. You can go to the Canyon and Ada County election offices or drop boxes at the Boise, Eagle, Meridian, or Kuna City Halls. If you plan to vote in person, today is the final day for early voting. Otherwise, you'll need to vote at the polls on Election Day, where you can also register to vote at the same time.
The Out the Door forecast, brought to you by Homes of Idaho.
Well, our Friday is going to be what I like to call an onion type of day. You will need all of the layers today. A little frosty as you step foot out the door early this morning, but once that sun comes up, look how our temperatures take off. We'll get up to 68, 69 degrees for the Boise area. A beautiful fall day. Then the wind will be on the increase tonight. A few clouds may sneak through as well. That's a cold front that will drop our temperatures a little closer to average for Halloween tomorrow, but by Sunday, November 1st, right back to the 60s. Just beautiful.
Wonderful. And time now for GMI Wants to Know, a little look at what we've been getting. We've been asking you, what is your least favorite and favorite Halloween candies? The circus peanuts seems to be the least favorite across the board.
Yeah, and I don't even think of that as a Halloween candy, but just a candy in general. Sorry, everyone who likes them.
Yeah, I guess it's like a candy corn thing. Touchy subject. Don't want to offend anyone. We have Elizabeth saying that the best anything chocolate and the worst is anything that includes coconut, which unless it's fresh shredded coconut or something, it tastes kind of funky.
Yeah, see, I don't mind an Almond Joy. I'll take that. I like those. And then I like Noah's Hershey's, M&M's, Rolos.
Yes.
They don't get enough credit, those Rolos. Those are good ones.
Same with the 100 grand.
Yes.
Those don't get enough, and the Milky Ways. Cannot forget about those. Yeah, all very delicious. Thank you so much for sharing your answers with us, and we hope you have a very happy Halloween. So we'll see you Monday.
Watch Idaho News 6 on your favorite streaming device.